Hi guys, so I'm going to show you how you to take your substance painter display from this to this. So let's get started. Okay, first thing. So I always like to change the display in my substance painter just because it looks better and it just allows me to see my textures correctly. The first thing I go to do is I go into my display settings and I change my HRM map. That's your environment map. And I always like to use Studio Tomoko. I think that's what's called. And next thing I like to do as well is to change my environment exposure to 1. I know it looks a bit bright, but trust me, trust the process. Next thing is the environment alignment. I always like to change this to camera. So basically what this does is if I move my light, then I move my 3D object, my light literally remains the same as opposed to the world environment. If I have like lit up my avatar this way and I'm moving it, you can see it doesn't move in my avatar. And that's a problem when texturing. I do not always want to keep moving my light every single time I move my whatever I'm texturing, be it avatars or be it garments. So I always like to change it to camera, and now I have my lights constantly moving with my avatar. Let's go to the next setting. Next setting is my focal length setting. I always like to change this, especially when I'm working with avatars. I always like to change this to 85. It just gives me a better view of my avatar. And I think the last settings on that display setting is I change my tone map into aces. So this generally like changes the whole look. I feel like this is the magic behind, my settings, and it just looks way better um to me. If you don't like it, it's fine. You don't have to change it to aces. Another thing you can always do is you can increase the environment opacity if you want to see a bit of the environment, and increase the environment blur. I always just like to keep it down because I just don't want anything distracting me when I'm working. Um, the next thing I always like to do is to go into my shader settings. I like to increase my subdivision count to about 32. That just improves the quality of what I'm seeing in my display window. And the last thing I usually like to do if I wanted to see the textures in more like high quality detail, I always just like to go into my texture set settings. My texture set settings and change the size to maybe 4K. So it will take a bit to compute, and this is what it looks like. So if I jump into my render, the IRA render, let's just see. You can literally see how realistic this is. So this is a game changer for your settings. Everything looks so well detailed. Everything looks really nice. Obviously, this is not what is going to look like in your final render engine, but I always just like to change it to punch up those textures so I'm able to visualize what the final look would be. So here guys, this is how I change my display settings inside Substance Painter. I hope you guys try this out and let me see what you guys come up with. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.